Moving on to the second tier on the list, this is the elite tier. Yes, for many teams, these players would be in their S tier, which for me is the G tier or the God tier. But nonetheless, these players are incredible, starting with the lowest on the list, Alexis McAllister. I cannot remember. I believe he's box to box, could be orchestrator, but either way, just like many players, if not all of these legendary players and the current superstars as well, Konami does just a great job of bringing these players, their real life form, into the game. That's what I love about it, and McAllister's no different. Fantastic defensively, fantastic offensively, especially in the passing department. He covers so much ground. He can be back winning a tackle, making a big interception, then up, either finishing the ball or more likely sending a killer pass to be finished. Fantastic player. Again, any other team, he could be in an S tier, but for me, he's on the lowest rung of the elite tier. Next, Beckenbauer, a player that I personally haven't played with. I've just watched many reviews on him, deciding if I wanted to spin for him or not. And just like many boxes, I was not going for Beckenbauer. I first got Augenthaler. After that, I went for Peter Cech. I needed the double booster goalie. Cech's the best keeper in the game. And in the process, I got this man. He absolutely will be vying for a starting spot. You never know. I believe, based on all the reviews I've seen, that my starter is better. I won't give that one up in case you don't know. I'll save the suspense. But Beckenbauer, nonetheless, fantastic player. Could very well be S tier, but based on what I've seen, he's elite tier, specifically because he's missing some key skills. If he had some more defensive skills, especially like aerial superiority, heading, stuff like that, blocking, and he could easily be a center back without a playstyle. However, he is more, I guess you could say, attacking oriented based on the skill set. At least from what I remember. Do not take this to your grave, but I just remember looking at the skill set and being underwhelmed by seeing it. However, just a fantastic player nonetheless. We will see where he goes, but for now, second to lowest in the elite tier. Same with Klaus Augenthaler. He has been incredible. I needed a build-up center back, and he is the definition of a build-up center back. Great passing for a center back. Great dribbling for a center back. And obviously, even though he's not the biggest, he's not the smallest either. He's not like a Cannavaro or a Cordoba, but obviously he's not like a Rudiger or a Araujo. He still, though, has that physical presence, great defensive stats, and then the beauty of being able to dribble and pass with the center back is that you don't have to be so worried about just clearing it out so the center back doesn't get stripped or lose the ball on making a terrible pass. So Augenthaler, very instrumental as a build-up center back. Already in the short time I've had him, he's been excellent. It's just based on, let's say, lack of playing with him, I have to put him here on the list. Next up, Bebeto, which many players would go, what? How is he ahead of Augenthaler if you know how good Augenthaler is? And that is because Bebeto is that good. We just have so many good players, as I say time and time again. I get sick of hearing people say he's the poor man's Romario or the Timu Romario or whatever. Bebeto's Bebeto. He is a legend, and he plays just like he did in real life. He has so much passion, even though he's a tiny player and very shifty on the ball. He plays how he looks, but he also plays how he doesn't look, meaning he gets into physical battles. He has his sneaky aerial presence where he can at least knock the ball down. His acrobatic finishing makes for some insane goals. He's got the poacher play style, and he's every bit of a poacher. He's always just lurking around, ready to come through and finish the ball off. He is fantastic. Now, moving to the top level of our elite tier. And we will start with Francesco Totti, the Roma legend. He is another fantastic player that on many would be in the S tier. I'll stop saying that because I could say it about every one of these players. But long story short, very fast, very good on the ball, great finishing, just an all-around excellent player. Not to mention, I gave him high proficiency on the left side, not the right side yet, just secondary on the right side. But he can play left wing. He can also play attacking midfielder, and both of those turn off his deep lying forward playstyle, which is not a very popular playstyle. However, it's not popular because, like I said previously, the meta is through ball, so it still can be very good depending on how you play. But I will say, especially having quick counter, not the quick counter where it's just make players run in a straight line and go for through balls, but I go off my striker, lay it back, and through. Up, back, throughs constantly. Sometimes these players for that through part after the up, back are too far back. I found ways to manipulate the players, and so Totti's one that can benefit from that. But just generally speaking, based on the deep lying forward play style, I actually like him on the wing more. That is why I should say, he's a bit lower than you would expect on the list, but fantastic player. Same with Wesley Sneijder. Could be higher easily. Don't mistake, him being lower on the list as him not being an incredible attacking midfielder. He is a hole player, so he's constantly looking to make those runs through the holes. And he does make those runs. But even when he's not, great passing, great on the ball. He has Messi-like dribbling, can hit bombs so he can finish from distance, near perfect free kicks. He is a player who literally taught me free kicks in this game. So whenever he's on the field, he's a threat. He's a player that you can even sub in if you get a dangerous free kick, since for me, he's not my starting lineup, but very well could be. He might end up there. Just the way I play, that whole player doesn't quite fit, right? I want a no play style attacking midfielder with the offensive individual, instructions turned on. So because he is a whole player, he has this particular way to play. The other way that I'm using right now just seems to be working better. That's it. It's not that he's not a good player, that he couldn't play there. It's just that play style as an attacking midfielder is a bit different than how I want the player in that middle area to play. And he's not quite fast enough to play the wing. Like on the wing, Tati beats him out, right? But as an attacking midfielder, one of the best. He's phenomenal. I think he was actually underappreciated. Like whenever I watched the reviews and all that, people were writing him off. I think he was in that pack with Kohler, and people barely talked about Sneijder. But this is a fantastic card. Then you got Cantona, the Manchester United French international legend, and I love how he feels on the ball. Fantastic dribbling, especially for a bigger player. And he has a ton of creativity, which is what he was known for. Can hit absolute bombs from distance. He's lacking a little bit of pace to play the wing, but he even has like pinpoint crossing. So without the pace, if you played him as more of like a right mid, like coming back, even though it seems crazy, he can absolutely do damage on the dribble and get in and finish from anywhere. 40 yards and in eFootball, Cantona is money. That's why I love him in that central area. He does very well, especially it turns off that deep lying forward play style, and he can go to goal and just dominate that central area of the pitch, which is where I think he plays best, as opposed to like the central striker, which you typically see him as, right? Then the best on the elite tier, at least for my squad, is definitely Araujo, who's now, as crazy as it sounds, not in the starting lineup, simply because he's a destroyer. I have too many destroyers, and he's not quite as good as this other player. Again, many of you know, but I'll save the suspense for the players who don't. But Araujo is an S-tier center back for just about every single team, right? Unless you have a similar scenario to me. He is ridiculously good, so don't take him being in my elite tier as him not being an S tier, or in my case, a G tier player. He has Fortress, right? Every single defensive skill set you can want, he has. Fighting spirit, heading, interception, block, all of it. I think he has block. But either way, just one of the best center backs without a doubt. You can't get much better than Rudiger. However, you're going to see where you can, or where, in my opinion, you can get better than him. It's literally just a few players to me. So, starting with the lowest player in the G tier, the God tier, the OG God tier, whatever you want to call it, it is Petr Cech. The lowest player on the list, not because of any other reason. And moving on to the God tier, the G tier, the best of the best in my squad, starting with Petr Cech for no other reason than the fact that he's a goalie. There's nobody else to compare him to. However, overall game-wise, he's one of the top 3 goalkeepers in the game, and based on everything I've seen, he is the best, right? It comes down to just small details between him, Schmeichel, and Buffon. Even though I wish Kahn was in there because he is my favorite goalie of all time. I just love the way he plays for the badge. He's one of the scariest dudes. I remember when I was younger, I was legit scared of Kahn. But we're going for the best of the best here, so I can't just let players that I love get in the way of that. Therefore, Petr Cech, basically his height is the biggest difference. He has all the best skills, all great stats in the goalkeeper department, and he's got the helmet, man. That puts him over the edge over Schmeichel and Buffon. They never had the cool black helmet that's literally iconic. Now moving on to the players in the God tier. Starting with the bottom 4. All phenomenal, all more defensive, right? One's a little more attacking, but we will start with the right attacking fullback, Javier Zanetti. Now, many players do not like him because they want 2 defensive fullbacks. For me, I am so glad that I did not go for Thuram on that right back. Defensive fullback is his play style because I love having one attacking wing back, and I had already got the legend Maldini, who's fantastic on the left side. You can already see him, so I'm not giving anything away. But having that attacking fullback, I had previously played with Trent, who's further down the list, and he is a fullback finisher, so he's more into the center, goes as like a CM on the attack. Zanetti running down that right side, giving that wing option, even in a more narrow formation, is so critical to opening up opponents many times, right? They're all worried about every player in the middle. Now they got to worry about Zanetti. If not, he will fly down that wing. He will send a dangerous cross or a ground pass to the center for a tap-in. And he is phenomenal defensively, too. Not to mention he can run for days, so he never gets tired. Javier Zanetti's one of the best, if not the best, I guess you could call it, attacking defenders in this game without a doubt. He is not leaving my squad for a long time, especially because I never just get caught where he's up and I get in trouble, right? It's not like I'm sitting there going, man, I can't play Zanetti because he keeps getting caught up. Like many times that's the case in other football games, but not here. We will see as we keep climbing, but for now, I can't see Zanetti leaving my squad. A great attacking fullback with phenomenal defensive stats as well. Even if I just held him back, which you can with individual instructions, by the way, he would still be phenomenal. Next, another destroyer, just like my man Rudiger, which is a problem I was having. 3 very aggressive destroyers in the center of my defense. Gattuso, he is our number 6. He is our anchor man, even though that's not his play style. I use individual instructions on him so he doesn't push forward because he is not a gatekeeper by any means. He is like the guard dog at the gate. So he's going to see you and attack you before you ever even get to the gate, right? As opposed to an anchor man, which is more sitting at the gate and telling you, halt, you cannot pass. Gattuso is going to attack you and just eat you. That's what Gattuso does, and he does it well. Put some individual instructions on him, and he's great. The reason why I don't put anchoring on him, right, to give the full anchor man feel to Gattuso is because if and when Zanetti is pushed up and I need a little bit of cover while Zanetti flies back, even though he's very quick at recovering, it's nice to have Gattuso go out wide and cover for him until he gets back. Next on the list, Andrea Pirlo, orchestrator, the best orchestrator. You cannot argue that, and that is the only reason Beckenbauer is where he is on this list, because Pirlo is the man. Just like in real life, he plays fantastic on the pitch, killer passes all day, finding angles and connecting passes that just about every other player can't. Not to mention, unlike the other football game that butches legends for fun, they made Pirlo a great defensive player because he was. No, he wasn't the most physical, right? But his positioning, his intelligence, he could read so many passes and intercept them because of that, read so many players and the way they're dribbling and just position himself to steal the ball. He was just as phenomenal defensively as he was offensively. Just the most cerebral player probably in the history of the game. A joy to watch always. I can watch Pirlo highlights all day, and I can watch Pirlo highlights in eFootball too. I can't wait to get better and better at the game because Pirlo is the type of player that's just going to be showcased more and more as I get better in that second defensive mid / CM type of role. Box to box, deep line playmaker, orchestrator. He could do it all. And next up, we have Paolo Maldini, who can play center back. I like him on the left side, obviously, but I do scoot him into where it's listed as a center back, right? I gave him aerial superiority because he was missing that. You need that for any center back, but he's still on that left side. He's just tucked in. So when Zanetti flies up, I still always have 3 players back. When you put him on the left side, even though he's a defensive fullback, I noticed sometimes he could drift a bit up. And he is great at flying down the wing, by the way. Excellent passing for a center back archetype. He's one of the best, if not the best. Feels incredible. Can stick with any shifty attacker, right? Once he wins the ball, he can distribute it well. If he has to do a bit of dribbling, he feels great on the ball. He's just phenomenal. Amazing defensive stats, great play styles, great skill sets. You can't go wrong with Maldini at left back or center back. Moving up, the top 4 players in the squad. Yes, I wish I could go one by one with them, but that is okay. 4th on the list, center back, destroyer, Ronald Araujo. He is the best center back in the game, in my opinion. I think there's a Van Dijk that also has aerial fort, but this Araujo with aerial fort rivals that Van Dijk. I believe I'm right about that. check me on it, but I don't see how you could not put him on the Mount Rushmore of eFootball center backs. Like, if there is a way that someone could push him down on the list, I would hate to play those. The only player, like I said, is, I believe, an Ariel Fort Van Dyke that was just phenomenal. I would love to get my hands on him. Probably a destroyer too, though. Maybe build up, though. Van Dyke could easily be a build up center back. But this Araujo is a destroyer. He is phenomenal at hunting down the ball, winning it. In the air, he is almost impossible to beat. So I love him. He's probably, who knows when, if ever, he will leave my starting lineup. He's great. There's not much more I could say about that. And next on the list, Jan Koller. I believe he's a player you either love or hate, right? I hate, though, personally, I hate how it's that way in eFootball because he can do more than just headers. He was known for being a target man, which is exactly what play style he gets in this game. You play to his feet, he lays back, then he makes a run. He can break away from defenders, not because of his speed, but because he is so strong. Knocking him off the ball, no matter how fast you are, is going to be hard. Finishing from anywhere, inside and outside the box, on either foot is phenomenal. Then, of course, yes, in the air, he is a special player, but it's not just for crossing. So it drives me crazy when players just kind of reduce him to that. I will not, and I refuse to use him just through ball, right? Even though he could still do good with that, despite the lack of speed, because his positioning is so good. And then, like I said, he's so strong that he can hold players off to get until he gets in the position to finish. But with the way I utilize him, I love him, especially with the fact that not only for headers on goal, but when you're in a tough situation or even goal kicks and things like, or when the goalie has a ball and punting it, having a player that can consistently win knockdowns is huge. Go ahead and try to take a player like Koller out and see the difference in how many attacks are created when you don't have a player to win those knockdowns, right? When the opposition's CDMs or center backs or whoever are constantly winning the ball and getting back in the attack, right? So that's another reason why I love Koller. It's not just for heading. And now moving to the top two players on the list, I have no doubt people will not agree with me. Many players will say, what are you smoking? But I promise you, this Messi is incredible, right? The thing I've heard is, yes, he's like above God tier at dribbling, which is true. He is the best dribbler in the game, if not one of the best for sure. Mount Rushmore dribbling, without a doubt. But people say, well, he gets knocked out the ball. Terrible physical contact. Not this Messi. I don't know if I got a different one or what, but even if players will like knock him off the ball, he almost just runs with it and flows with it, bounces off the defender and keeps going. And even in the air, he's got this tricky, like perfect positioning where he's just always a nuisance, cutting into that left foot. Insane finishing. I've already scored some insane goals. His passing isn't bad either, so it's not like he's just cut and shoot. He has a ton of different, threat. He can be a threat in many different ways. Driving the line, crossing it. People said, don't cross with his right, don't cross with his right. But if you get him in a good spot, his right foot can be just fine. Is it elite? No. However, with the rare times you're going to be cutting right with him because he's so good cutting to his left and finishing, or cutting into his left, everyone thinks you're going for that curling shot, and then you play a pass across, you're almost guaranteed to have an open attacker, on that opposite side, on the left side, because he cuts in from the right. He's just insane. He immediately boosted my attack like a ridiculous amount, so there's no doubt in my mind that he's in the deserved spot on my team, because there's one player that without a doubt is the best on my team and one of the best in the game, and that is Johan Cruyff, who can play left wing, right wing, any attacking position, attacking mid, secondary striker, or center forward. He is a beast. He even tracks back sometimes, wins the ball, plays that killer Pirlo type pass, finishing insane on both feet, dribbling, God tier dribbling. Again, just a phenomenal player. He was a player that I never liked when I played in FC, another one that they butchered big time. So to get a young Ajax version of Cruyff, which you tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the only Ajax version. I believe the other ones were either Netherlands or Barcelona versions. But the young Ajax version of Cruyff, it's just incredible. He is the MVP of almost every one of my games, whether he's scoring or setting the ball up with great passes. And he's going to be in my team for a long time. He is a captain of the squad, deservedly so. And he plays just like you'd expect Cruyff to play, which is super satisfying to watch. So that completes the OG God Squad tier list. I will keep going with different tiers. Like I said, the best players in the game, period, whether they're on my team or not, the best defenders, attackers, goalies, whatever. You can have so much fun with these tier lists, and we are absolutely going to do that. Shout out to eFootball Hub, because this is an insane website. I don't want to say the best because I got to see the other ones. I literally just found this and had to do this tier list. I had a blast doing this, had a blast making this video. You keep grinding, you keep having fun. There's a ton more eFootball content coming, so I will see you on the next one. Peace out.